but you want to get pregnant. Wouldn't be my request, but let's talk about the world lore, my mangas, the Night of Slaughter, and the Devil's Deal. Well, there are two creatures that can end up getting you pregnant, only one's going to be in the mating manual. If you remember the child-riding cat girl impregnate, you might be asking, what, Dark, what does that have to do with anything? They can't impregnate anyone. They can't even get pregnant. Hold up. You're right. Normal ones can't get impregnate. But if you raise one perfectly and they end up evolving into a red diamond, well, that's where things get interesting, because they, once again, can't get pregnant. Let's say you're some adventurer's son, and he decides to go kill a noble that had an impregnate, a red diamond impregnate to be specific. Well, if that red diamond dies and is filled with regret because your dad killed her owner, well, guess what she comes back as? Well, if you said a black diamond impregnate, you are right. And so not only did she lose her master, if you lose your daddy, the world's got problems, because after taking her revenge on all who caused that grief, guess what she comes back as? A black royal flush. And that is where you get the forced male impregnation. All she's got to do is slide that tongue down your throat and inject eggs in your guts. And you unfortunately gonna find yourself popping out necrotic cat girls. If you don't want to be a Dama, that's not a problem, because impregnates are found almost exclusively within the Creighton Desert, and more specifically on this side of the Creighton Desert, because Stroke, the god of summer seasons, has impregnates as his holy animal. But I promised y'all 2 male impregnations in this video, so let's go ahead and talk about the one that is going to be in the mating manual. So you know how there's mermaids, right? But what if I told you a mermaid and a fae had a baby? Well, then you would end up with an Arcamaid, and this is not the official art of it, but this is just the general gist. And what makes the Arcamaids so interesting is the fact that they have multiple ways of reproduction with multiple races and multiple results from each race. And those will actually fall into a caste order within their society. The first one is normally just Arcamaids having babies with other Arcamaids. They are a women-only species, and they sit at the highest order of that caste. But what about the workers of that society? And this is where fishermen find themselves in a fishy situation. When you're out on a boat puffer fishing around and you see some hot lady in the water, sometimes you haven't seen a lady in quite a while, so you just jump in looking to have a little bit of fun. But when you jump in that water, you're about to have a bad time, because Arcamaids are going to release a material that's effectively going to paralyze you in the water, but actually make the water more aerogenic so you can breathe. And then they're going to bite the sac, causing the little men to go back up into your body. It's going to cause a transformation in your entire reproductive system, including the yin and yang, the non-Coke can, if you will. That'll have you looking like a Ken doll at the end of the day. And while this process is extremely painful, as your organs start to become eggs that are going to then burst from your guts like an alien, delivering 10 to 20 of Arcamaid servants into the world. You may be thinking, well, I'm just going to go back on land. Nope. No, you ain't. Because within 24 hours of getting that little law, guess what? You can't breathe air, and you actually grow gills. And then shortly after that, you got to stand before the goddess of death, watching you get impregnated by an Arcamaid, giving her babies, to which then you expire. Or even worse, you got to go before the spirit of death and wind, the Gunnar Lord Confero, and watch that. But if you'd like to still help the development of the mating manual, go ahead and grab a Ruby Gold sub so you can see the development of it, or get an original character into the lore with a diamond. And see bio, because all my mangas are free to read.